walk around the compound, see some tigers, and then hopefully we'll see some Pete's, and then hopefully we'll hear some squeaks. What? 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 Huh? Yeah? Well, why don't you go tell someone who cares? People are like, I don't know what he just said to you, Derek, but the way that you handled that situation was a very inappropriate. I think that he deserves a little bit more of your attention and consideration than what you just gave him. Boomer is nonplussed by any of these developments. Oh, hi. Hello, all you big cat lovers out there. It's me, Derek, again. Welcome to another super duper fantastic episode of the Walk Around the Compound webcast. If you're new here, go ahead and just hit that subscribe button, I guess. Oh my gosh, YouTube, right? How was that, Micah? Did I do good? It was in the beginning, kinda. Micah's my content manager. She helps keep me on the rails. She is my sense of organization, my inner conscious. That part of my brain that says, like, no, let's try to put things where they belong. And then the rest of me is just like, that's dumb. That's dumb, and that sounds like work. And work is no fun. And then the little Micah part of the brain is just like, but it's important. Actually, no, it probably is, but organization is fun. I got a label maker for my label maker. Like, ooh, for my assortment of label makers. I now have so many label makers, I had to buy a specific label maker for each of my label makers. Now that's when you know you're at like grandmaster level. Look at those boys. Handsome. Cute. You just want to snuggle right up there with them. And they'd probably let you. Because they're just chill like that. They're just cool. I mean, yeah, there'd probably be bites and stuff. Actually, what would probably be more of a risk is they would want to body sram. They would want to lay on top of you. And they're rather big. They're big enough to where actually if they wanted to just like lay on top of your chest, like you may actually like have a significant enough time struggle with that whole breathing thing. Yeah. Yeah. They're big boys. Rah, I see you looking over here. You're thinking about it. You're thinking about coming over and say hi. I know how to tell. I know what you're thinking before you even know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, that walk up was so amazing. I think it just broke the internet. It just broke the internet. Is anyone still there? Oh my gosh. How do we get the internet back up? I think I have to rub two phones together to make enough Wi-Fi. Whoa. Hops. He's got the hops. He's got the ups. Look at you. You're up as well. You guys were both just snoozy-toozy. The snoozy-toozy. I think, because we got a bunch of cows that are in the pasture now. I think the rancher next door is possibly either, well, maybe they're feeding over something like that, because it's a fairly large patch of land, and you know, if they're going out to feed, then the cows know, and they're like, oh, it's time to go this way, and they make their move, and they talk to each other because they're cows, and that's what they do. Low, low, low. Low, 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 low. Hey, there we go. There we go. Hi. Oh, stretchy baby. Everyone's got such big bellies. Everyone has such big bellies. I believe this is Nadal. I believe this is Nadal. Can't hold me to that. I believe it is. Gosh, what can we talk about today in this episode of the Walk Around the Compound webcast? Oh! As soon as I stepped away, he like rolled onto his chest, and he's like, "Where are you going?" Looked at me, just like, "Don't you want to film me some more? I'm being very cute. I am a very good-looking tiger. You should probably just spend the rest of the webcast on me, Nadal." I'm like, "Oh, there's other kitties." And he's like, "Is there?" I mean, come on, think about it. Is there? And then I'm like, "Nadal, you're kind of full of yourself. You're a little bit into yourself, aren't you?" It's a slight hint of narcissism. Bunny Boo. Bunny Boo. I guess I could talk a little bit about a question that I kind of had. I ran into this with the tractor. Because it's a little bit of a tight squeeze in here, and the wheels on the tractor and the back wheels are high up off the ground. I thought that I had it, because I've driven through this corridor with the tractor, I mean, thousands of times, literally thousands of times. Never hit anything, and it was like last week, I hit the tractor wheel on this, and I ripped the whole thing. Yeah. I had to put it back up. One of our volunteers, Daniel, he made those. I felt bad. I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Oh, I broke it. Help, I need an adult. I guess, because I was thinking about this the other day, and I think that this is actually a topic of discussion that I've even touched upon in previous webcasts, where we talk about the emergence of new health-based technologies. And it could be a wide variety of different types of technology. You could be talking about gene therapy, you could be talking about nanotechnology, you can be talking about advanced robotics, all sorts of different types of things, which are being developed now and are more than likely going to become a very prevalent and prominent part of all of our lives. Like here within like the next 5, 10, 15-ish years, we're going to see some pretty remarkable things happening. And with that, I think we're going to see a lot of rejuvenation of people. I think that a lot of health scientists are looking at not just prolonging lifespan, but what is known as health span. And if you prolong the health span, then you will just, well, getting attacked and eaten by a tiger is no way to promote my health span. I just promoted my my pants span. Oh, what? You are so just you. You are just so Melita. But that the focus is going to be more on the health span, that like rejuvenating people and making them more youthful. These are going to be very real prospects in the very relatively near future. We've talked about that stuff before. I mean, there's different things like senescent cells and well, what about like the alleles at the end of like the chromosomes and whatnot? It's like, oh, those parts, they're actually, I think they're doing a pretty decent job of actually possibly thinking of workarounds for. I mean, like, there's all sorts of stuff. Anytime, it's just like any sort of engineering problem. Like, when you come up with a problem, you have to come up with also an elegant solution, an elegant workaround. And you know, as human beings, we're just don't just keep eating. Just keep eating. You have such an amazing skettio face. I really want to capture it without the fence. If you will allow me that, if you will indulge me that. Okay. 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 Okay, yeah. Right, come over here. God. It's one of the most impressive skettio faces I've ever seen. And I can't get near it. Yeah, thanks. It was like, it was great, it was symmetrical, it was very dark and very red. Ugh. Rip off. What a day. Day's ruined. But I imagine that the first iterations of these technologies are probably only going to be available to, you know, an elite number of individuals. And of course, there's the conspiratory notions that, well, they're going to be stopped by the oligarchs who control the big pharma companies. And I'm not going to say there's not truth to that. That there's not going to be a significant amount of murkiness and chicanery that is going to be associated with the development, the procurement, the dispersal of these various types of technologies. Because if you are talking about therapies, if you're talking about procedures and processes that, like, at the root of a you know, human being or just a biological organisms, at the root of their biology, if you can just kind of fix that, and you don't just have to throw just different chemical pills at trying to control the symptoms, but you're actually like dealing with the root problems and whatnot. I mean, yeah, you're going to be talking about significant dents being made into what amounts to multi-billion dollar organizations, I should say. So they're going to have a significant interest in wanting to at least slow, stall, curtail, stop, halt the development of some of these things. But one thing I will say is that technology is such a democratizing force. And the way that technology is being developed and promoted now, it's so very different. Whereas before, hi, what are you doing?
Throwing him chicken.
Oh, you're throwing Paw Paw chicken? Oh my gosh, look at this guy. Yay. God, this is so happy. Layla thinks that she is also entitled to some chicken.
She does get chicken.
Oh, she does?
Yeah. She gets leg quarters though.
Oh, she gets leg quarters? Oh, so she is confused.
Yeah.
She's like, I believe I was supposed to get all the chicken. I don't know if you saw the memo. Layla gets all. Look at that precision. It's like you've been doing this. Like, you've done this before.
Once or twice.
Look at that aim. It's like all going like in the same spot. It was pretty, it was good.
Thanks.
Thanks, Rach.
Welcome. Yeah, I'll be back.
I saw that your Pats won.
Heck yeah, they did.
Yeah.
What was your team again?
Whoever beats the Pats. But the thing about those different health-based technologies is that the way that just technology in and of itself is being developed now is that you're having like the disruptive development of technological things that are happening at much of a smaller and smaller level, because people are able to have access to tools that, you know, they would have never had access to before. I mean, you think about the development of things like Google or Facebook. Like literally college kids with laptops developed both of those things. And now those two entities are kind of like, along with Amazon, are basically like duking it out for supremacy of the world's information. College kids with laptops. Would you have ever like try? Sometimes I do like an experiment or a thought experiment where I let's say that you just magically get transported back into like the 1850s, and you think of like different pieces of technology, like a smartphone. Now explain all of that, like explain what they are and explain like the societal implications of them, and try to explain, you know, like the concept of the internet and Wi-Fi and like, so, and it's like trying to use relatable kind of terms. But could you have ever like said like, oh yeah, well, these, you know, young students, they basically just did stuff and it changed the world like within like about the course of like 10 to 15 years. It just, you know, swept everything. It was just, it's the way that things are happening that was just amazing. So what I'm trying to say is the you know, of course, because how many people are they say, you know, that they actually do have perpetual motion machines, but they're all locked in a bunker underneath ExxonMobil's headquarters. Ah, it's like, you know, like that kind of. But I'm not gonna say that there's not like a grain of truth to that type of stuff. But as technology progresses and as more people have access to more and more like amazing things and amazing ways to develop stuff, we're going to see, you know, more and more like major things being kind of developed, like in people's garages and stuff like that, or small scale research startups. Because the one of the main things is like cost prohibitiveness. That's a major element of technology and the development. Like, that's why, like, think about the fact that you're watching this video on YouTube and I'm able to edit the video together and I'm able to upload it, you know, with my phone and my camera, and I'm able to check all the annotation. You think, like, even 25, 30 years ago, the amount of technology, the amount of equipment that I would have needed in order to do all of these simple things. And I very much so believe that we're going to see even like medical technology start to kind of take on almost like a certain kind of renaissance of sorts. That there are going to be very kind of passionate, very smart people who finally have access to very sophisticated tools that pretty much most people just have access to. It's like, you know, it's like the kids that developed Google, they did it with a $1,000 laptop. But they would not have been able to develop, you know, Google. They would not have been able to come up with the concept of a Google, you know, 5 years before that point. So it's like, you have to be able to ride the wave of the times, and what is available to you, and what people are going to adopt. Hi, baby. So when people say just like, yeah, maybe some of the stuff you're talking about, maybe there's a degree of truth to it, but Big Pharma's never going to let it happen. And I'm telling you right now, I don't think they're going to have a choice. I think that there's the ship is going to spring too many leaks. I mean, but the idea, like, you got to think about it. Hi, Sugar Pie. Hi, baby. But I'll bet you that there are going to be some very enterprising geneticists who are going to be able to use maybe like a few $1,000s worth of technology, and then they're going to be able to develop like advanced gene therapies, again, like in one of their like garages or one of their apartments or something like that. Oh, Mika. Meek. When we talk about, like, now you're talking about some of these things being very readily available to just people, it's like being able to take a trip down to the old 7-Eleven. And you think about being able to go down to like any 7-Eleven, any corner store. You can buy over-the-counter medicine that can fix ailments that literally used to kill people maybe a few centuries ago. I mean, people used to die from colds and flus and stuff like that. Now you can get certain things. You can just from just any regular store that can help to control certain hazardous symptoms, to the point where, you know, people aren't dropping out like flies from these things, not like they used to. Skyrocketing death rates. Oh my gosh, so much death. Yeah. She's like, death? You mean meat? I like it. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Once I got done filming, we're going to go ahead and feed you, okay? She's like, well, stop filming. And I guess it made me start to think about, you know, the nature of, okay, so let's say that we start getting into, you know, increased health spans, increased lifespans. Now, I'm not even talking about some of the stuff I've talked about before. Let's not even talk about indefinite. Let's say that there's even finite. But let's say that we start getting people, like, radically increased lifespans. More so than what we're accustomed to now. And not even, okay, yeah, like, well, you get to be 150 years old, but you're basically just you're a babbling raisin because you're still aging. No, like, you're actually you have rejuvenated to like a more youthful state, and then you are able to just kind of continue, almost like you're like an elf or something. I want to change my name legally to Legolas. Can I be Galadriel? You know it's gonna happen, right? People are gonna start changing their names to elf names. Oh my god. Ugh. Maybe these technologies shouldn't be developed. No, but I imagine that we're gonna start to have like some fairly, you know, easy access to a lot of this stuff. Again, cost effectiveness, cost prohibitiveness Yeah, like being factors that are no longer factors. I mean, pretty much everyone has access to smartphone technology. Like literally, like how many? Like there's literally billions of smartphones in the world now. There are billions of smartphones. Could you even have imagined that? For those of us who are a little bit older, like go back, let's say 20 years. Okay? That's in 1998. Could you have imagined the impact of smartphones and smartphone technology and social media? Could you have even just like really, because the internet was a thing. 1998, the internet was commercially available for a few years by that point. So we already knew that the internet was like, whoa, this is more than just a passing fad. Yeah. And now it's just so prevalent. There's billions of them. And it happened rapidly. 20 years. Actually, no, technically smartphones, what was the first iPhone came out in, was it 2006 or 2007? I can't remember. One of those. But just a little over 10 years. That's all it took. And they used to be so expensive, but now you can get like you could get a smart device that is way more inexpensive and more capable than those first generation smartphones. That's the concepts we're talking about. That's the nature, the exponential growth of information-based technology. So, yeah. So let's say that these health span and lifespan enhancing technologies become very readily available to people. By merit of logic, it just so it stands to reason that these technologies are also going to be readily available to animals. And then it gets into like, no, oh my gosh, you'll have like, we will see if we can try to capture the gene for those moos, for those melodious moos. Let's see if we can try to put that gene expression into pill form so that everyone can moo like Solano. But think about it. I mean, there's a lot of different kind of moral and ethical implications of that type of stuff. Look at like a facility like ours. Like, let's say that we were able to then keep these animals alive, you know, like for very long periods of time, indefinitely even. And that's a weird kind of thing, because are we still going to have issues with animals that are going to need to be housed and homed? I don't think that I'm leery about the number of animals that are in need, like, of rescue, as opposed, like, I think that some people say that just like, there's so many animals, there's so many tigers, just tigers up to our armpits all over America. There's tens of thousands of backyard tigers, and it's like, there's still definitely that. I'm not going to say that there's not that. There is, but the degree, I have my questions. That's all. But, yeah, there's still going to be animals in need. And let's say that we have animals that they just start kind of just becoming those perpetual motion machines. Let's say that they just kind of live and they just kind of exist. And we're able to, because wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't we want to just be able to, whenever we have animals that get sick here, we perform surgeries on them, we give them medication. We help to control inflammation. We help to, when they get old, we help to give them medicine to help them retain muscle mass. Isn't that like manipulating with their biology? Isn't that like kind of messing with the plan or the natural order of things? What do? Let's say that the need continues. The need to rescue continues, but then also like yeah, take these pills. Take these nanobots, Raven. They're going to work their way through your body. They're going to repair muscular and organ damage. They're going to rejuvenate you, and they're going to make your body more youthful. and you'll be able to live longer. That's crazy, right? But does that mean that she's artificially taking up space of another animal that could possibly use it? Maybe another animal that's in need? These are certainly questions that a lot of places like ours are going to have to ask themselves. And I'm telling you, they're not going to think about it right now because I don't think it's a concept that is entered into a lot of people's heads. I don't think that it's something that is really registering on their radar. But you watch. And we're talking maybe just like 10, 15, 20 years. I think that's the time frame that we're looking at. It's going to start to become a thing.
I'm feeding your fat lard.
You're feeding my fat lard? That's my sister, Kate. She's here to visit. She is feeding our llamas. This is very helpful. And she makes an amazing Alfredo. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's all I got. That's all I got. I think it was a good cast. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Reek, Reek, how you doing? Like button, subscribe button if you wanna. And yeah. Now we'll see you next time. I think I'm going to try and film a couple of fancy casts tomorrow morning because I'm a little bit behind on my fancy casting, so I will get that up to my Patreon peeps and we'll have you check that out. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point. Oh my gosh, it was such a great cast. I was doing all the things and the flips. I was on the double bars and doing the things and the iron crosses. And then basically, I just like biffed it. I ate it on the dismount. Oh, the Russian judge is going to give me such a low score. I'll talk to you folks later, okay? See you next time. Bye-bye.